Hello, you're watching Encore here on France 24. I'm Rochelle Harrison-Pless. Thanks for joining us. Coming up. Award-winning Filipino filmmaker Brillante Mendoza is at the forefront of independent Philippine cinema. His work often features ordinary people in extraordinary situations, offering a gritty, no-holds-barred snapshot of life in the Philippines. Mendoza is no stranger to the festival circuit. His films such as Kinatay, Lola and Marosa have garnered trophies and accolades. But now he takes a seat on the other side of the judging table as a member of the jury for the 8th edition of the MyFrenchFilmFestival. Brillante Mendoza, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
You're here in Paris to kick off the MyFrenchFilmFestival, the world's first online French language film festival. How does it feel to be on the other side of the panel, judging this time around, and what will you be looking for?
Well, it's my first time to be a jury of the festival, and I was really looking forward to watch all the film. And it feels, of course, I feel honored. I feel honored. I'm watching French film. I used to watch French film before only in the festival. But now I get to watch all these great works of different filmmakers from France, so I'm really honored, yeah.
Now, the festival features 30 films, 20 of which are in competition, covering a wide range of themes and genres shown in 10 languages as well. Tell us more about the films selected this year.
Well, I was just reviewing them again, no, because I've watched all of the competing films, and it's a mixture of drama and and comedy, and even the comedy I kind of like them, because they have this different kind of sense of humor, different from what I used to watch, especially back in the Philippines. So they were very interesting, a mix of art films, and films that are more accessible. So and I like it. Because you have a variety of interesting films.
A real mixed bag then. Well, let's find out more about the festival from Alex Jennings.
It's time to break out of your usual streaming habits and impress your friends with your knowledge of French cinema.
T'es pas au courant? Pas au courant de quoi?
MyFrenchFilmFestival is held entirely online, with 20 French films made available worldwide for a month and subtitled in 10 different languages. It costs €1.99 to watch a film, or €7.99 for the whole bundle. In some countries, the films are even entirely free. The festival runs until mid-February and showcases films for the young, for the not-so-young, from the sublime to the ridiculous.
Mais pourquoi t'as fait ça? Je peux pas te regarder.
Breaking new frontiers and returning to the classics. So with the best in French filmmaking at your fingertips, the only decision you have to make is...
Qu'est-ce que vous prenez, un blanc, un rouge?
Right, the MyFrenchFilmFestival, they're really shining a spotlight on some great talent and some great movies. Brillante, what is it about French cinema that really speaks to you?
Well, when you say French cinema, to me, it's more like it's more like, for me, coming from the other side of the world, it's like always watching an art film. So because I was introduced in kind of French cinema through Cannes, my first time in Cannes, so it's the first time I've started watching film. So it's always, for me, it's always like an art film whenever I watch French cinema.
Let's talk about your own work. It gives audiences a glimpse into contemporary Philippine society via some pretty gritty, realist portrayals. What drives you to tell these kinds of stories rooted in real life?
Well, to be honest with you, I was in advertising. I used to work in mainstream cinema also before I went to advertising. So I kind of exposed to, to the world that is far from reality. And at the time, I didn't realize I was gonna be a filmmaker someday. But I told myself, if I'm going to be a filmmaker, I would like to show what is real, what I see and what I experience, and because this is reality. So that's the kind of, art, or that's the kind of film I'd like to share to the audience. So, and then I became a filmmaker, and and that's why I chose to, show this kind of realism.
Well, let's hear from France 24 film critic Lisa Nesselson, who has this to say about the common thread in your work.
They're always different, and yet they always give you insight into what it must feel like to be living usually in a city in the Philippines right now. And there's a universal quality, and there's also an incredible specificity where you're just fascinated with the characters and their lives, and how things are unfair, frequently violent, and people need to find solutions to survive. And he makes it exotic and yet very down to earth. And so it's convincing. And I know I've walked out of the theater being just grateful that I'm not the people I just watched on screen.
Right, so Brillante, you mentioned Cannes a little earlier. You have been to Cannes many times. You have strong ties to France and the French film industry. You went home with the Best Director trophy for Kinatay in 2009. Your film Marosa won Jacqueline Jose the Best Actress Award in 2016. And in 2014, you were decorated with France's very prestigious cultural award, the Knight of the Order of Arts and Letters. Why do you think your films have found an audience here in France?
Well, because I think there's, I must say, there's honesty and there's truth in my cinema. And when you show your film in Europe, I mean, when you show this kind of cinema in Europe, they're more appreciative. They don't really, they don't really judge you because of your film, but they judge the craft, and they judge what they really see in the, in the film, and that's how they see, people in France. That's how they see cinema. They want to learn, and they want to see the other side of the world as well.
Now, I'd like to talk about the president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte. You directed his State of the Nation address both in 2016 and in 2017. He's been very outspoken about his controversial war on drugs, and you have said that you support this crackdown, his crackdown. Now, in a September 2016 interview with the Philippine Inquirer, you also said that people need to keep an open mind, that it was too early to judge. Now, 18 months have passed since Duterte came to power, and more than 6,000 people have been killed by police and vigilantes without receiving a fair trial. So do you still feel the same way about Duterte?
Well, I've always been very honest and very vocal with why I support this administration. It's not only Duterte, but it's only even, I've been supportive also in other advocacies of the past administration. But for as long as I am, I can honestly say to myself that, I feel that what this administration is doing is right, then I will keep on supporting. Because personally, I must say that I have a very close working relation, even not necessarily with the president, but the people, who works for him, especially with the police, because of my, several research that I'm doing, and even my, upcoming film. And I must say that I'm one of the few persons who can really come, close to these people and to the intricate and delicate work that they are doing. And I can honestly say that not all these accusations are true, because I'm there, I'm a witness, and I can see it for myself.
Okay. Well, this is a man, though, who has admitted to killing people. He's threatened to reinstate martial law. He joked about an Australian missionary who was raped and killed, and he's called everyone from the Pope to the former US President Barack Obama son of a I can't say the word on television. So it seems he is a very divisive figure, let's say. Let's get back to movie making. You're at the forefront of the country's alternative cinema scene. How do you see the independent film industry in the Philippines moving forward? Do you see yourself forging a path for others?
Well, I see the independent cinema in the Philippines thriving, and I'm very glad and happy. So I will be very supportive with the young filmmakers, and I'll be very happy if their kind of films and their kind of cinemas will be will also somehow show the other side of the Philippines, not only the things that most of us see and hear from the news, but also the other side. So that's what I can say right now. And as far as I'm concerned, I will still be doing the kind of cinema I'm doing. If it has to be, a story about different institution, or a story about even this administration that is against my principle, then I don't have any hesitation to show it also in my stories.
Okay, Brillante, that's all we have time for today. We'll leave you with one of the films jostling for a prize at the MyFrenchFilmFestival, Rock and Roll, written and directed by and starring Guillaume Canet, and also starring his real-life wife, Marion Cotillard. Now, the festival runs until the 19th of February, and wherever you are in the world, you can take part by watching the films and voting for your favourite to clinch the Audience Award. Once again, many thanks to Brillante Mendoza. Maraming salamat po. Catch up with past shows on our website and stay in touch on social media. Keep it right here on France 24. Lots more coming up.
Bonsoir. Quand je vais dire à ma mère que je vous ai rencontré, elle va être comme une dingue, quoi.
Ah ouais.
Je vous souhaite une longue et belle fin de carrière. Salut.
Merci, au revoir.
Petit connard.
Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive? Je me demande un peu ce que je fais là, en fait.
Nous sommes là pour en parler. Ça fait envie, mais ça peut effrayer aussi.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Oh putain, Kino.
Mais pourquoi t'as fait ça?
Je peux pas te